Hi, welcome to my What is Coaching webinar. My name is Jess Hetrick. I'm so happy you're here today and listening. Thank you so much for being here. I have been a health and fitness coach for about 3.5 years now. And so I'm going to kind of give you a little glimpse into how I got started first, because you may have been thinking like, I don't even really know what coaching is, what it entails, like how do you get started with something like this? So for me, I got started as a challenger in my coach's challenge group. So maybe you're one of my challengers already, maybe you're not, maybe you're brand new. You can get started either way. For me personally, I was in a challenge group and I was loving it. I was loving the workouts, I was loving the nutrition, I was loving the community. The community, most of all, I think that's what really sets us apart, because anybody can have workout DVDs or, find recipes online, but having that community to keep you accountable and keep you going, that's huge. And so I was loving it. And my coach said to me, I think you'd be a really great coach. I was immediately like, no way, not for me. I think mainly I just didn't really know what it was. And I thought, like, I am not qualified to do something like that. I don't have time to do something like that. I had a lot of different hesitations, as maybe you do too. I think most people do before they start something new. So I'll kind of go through a little bit about mine. So when I first started, I was postpartum, freshly postpartum, when I was starting in my first challenge group. I was a surrogate for my sister. So I had just delivered my niece. I have 3 daughters of my own. So this was my 4th pregnancy. And I was just feeling really lost after that. And I had always been a runner beforehand. And it was just getting really hard to fit running into my day. With 3 young kids at home, I didn't have a jogging stroller for all 3 of them at that point, and I just couldn't fit it in. But I was feeling like I lost myself and I needed something. So I joined this challenge group and I just absolutely fell in love. But when my coach approached me about coaching, I thought, well, I don't know anything about coaching. I don't know how to coach people. I'm not a fitness expert. That was one of my big hesitations, was like, I'm not a nutrition expert. I'm not a fitness expert. Well, I can tell you 3.5 years later, I'm still not a fitness expert or a nutrition expert. And the really cool thing about being a coach is you're not expected to be the expert. We have top trainers in the industry that are creating the fitness programs, launching them. We have nutritionists, registered dietitians who are coming up with all of the nutrition courses and the recipes and, all of those things. So we don't need to be the expert in those things. Our job as coaches, which I think is the coolest thing ever, is to support and encourage people on their journey, because that is what is lacking for most people. For most people, it's that accountability. It's that person to be in their corner that's going to say, yes, you can keep going. Don't quit on yourself. That is our job as coaches. And so that was one of my hesitations. And also, being freshly postpartum, I was not at my goal weight. I thought, oh, well, I don't look like a fitness model. Who's going to follow me as a coach? But little did I know at the time, people don't want the perfect coach. People don't want a coach that looks like, they are absolutely perfect and they never skip a workout and they never have a cheat meal, because that's not realistic. That's not real life. And that's not a standard anybody could live up to. So that's not who people want to follow. So if you are on your own health and fitness journey, which hopefully you are, or you're about to be, and get started with us, that is the perfect time to get started with coaching, because you are in it with the people that are joining you. You are right there beside them. You are doing the workouts. You are following the meal plans. You are using the supplements, and you're helping them do the same thing. And so another thing that I thought about at the time when I was thinking about coaching was, okay. And honestly, like when she first brought it up, I said, no way. And then my coach brought it up to me again. And I was like, well, I remember saying something to my husband and he was like, oh, I think you would be really good at it. And I was just like, wait, me? Like, I just had this thought of like, me, who would follow me? Like who would join my group? No one. I have no idea who. Well, 3.5 years later, my groups have gotten really big. People will join you. You will inspire people by simply showing up and sharing what's working for you. And if you are passionate about what's working for you, that comes through when you're talking to people, when you're sharing it on your social media. And people need a solution. There are millions of people out there who desperately need a health and fitness solution, and you can be that person to help them, which is the coolest thing ever. And then when I finally was thinking, okay, maybe I'll give this a try. And then I was thinking, I just don't know if I'll have time though. Like, I have 3 little kids. When I started coaching, I had a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And then I just had delivered my niece. So I was postpartum from all of that. And I thought, and I'm also a part-time nurse in the neonatal ICU. And I was just like, when am I fitting this in? You know what I mean? But the cool thing about coaching is it does require work. I'm going to say that right off the bat. I think you can't come into this thinking like, oh, I signed up to be a coach. All of a sudden I'm going to be like rolling in the money and people are just going to be like joining me left and right. And it's going to be super simple. And I'm just going to, start making all this money. That's not the way that it works. It does require work. So if you want to do this, I would say, as a new coach, if you're thinking about time requirements, like, okay, how much time would I need to put into it? If you could consistently put 30 minutes, I would say at a minimum 5 days a week, 30 minutes to like even an hour, 5 days a week. I mean, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week for a part-time job. That's not bad at all, right? You can lump it together too. You can do more work on some days and other days when you don't have time, that's fine. But you do need to show up consistently. And I think that's a big part of it. And so I have found, I was, like I said, a part-time NICU nurse, mostly at home with my girls though. And I have found this job to be amazing for that because you can work it into those mom cracks of your day. If you are a mom, even if you're not, you have these cracks in your day where maybe you don't really have much going on. And it would be the time when you would pick up your phone and start scrolling. You could spend those 10 minutes doing some of the business building activities that I will talk about later. And you can just build it in those small little increments of your day. And I love that about this job. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I love about this job. And one of the big ones, so before joining my challenge group, before becoming a coach, I was the biggest roller coaster fitness person ever. Like I said, I was a runner and I would train for a half marathon because that required consistent, I had this calendar that I would check off my training runs, and it was a 3-month calendar. So I was amazing for those 3 months. I would be on it. I would do all my workouts. I would run the half marathon and then I wouldn't work out again for 6 months. That is what I did for years. And I've never been consistent with fitness ever until I started doing this. And the cool thing about being a coach is you have that added level of accountability. When you're a challenger in a group, that's awesome because you have the accountability of the group. But when you're the coach, there is that little bit extra of like, okay, well, I really need to show up because my challengers are expecting me to show up. My followers are expecting me to show up. And that keeps me going on days when maybe for my own self, I wouldn't. Like, I am someone, I don't know about you, but I am someone who relies heavily on external accountability. Like, if someone is counting on me to do something, I will do it more so than just for myself. And coaching is amazing for that. So the number one job that you have as a coach is to be on your own health and fitness journey. What other job on the planet can say that? That your number one requirement of your job is to be on your own healthy living journey. Like, your job is your journey. I mean, I can't even stress enough how cool that is, because it has been helping me build a business, but also helping me be the healthiest version that I've ever been. I'm 40 years old and I have never been healthier than I am right now. And that's a really cool thing to say. Another thing that I love about this job is the community. And that's something I didn't even know about before I started. I knew about the challenge group community. I knew about checking in and, encouraging each other within the group and all of that. And I loved it. And I thought it was super cool. Take that and multiply it by like 100, and that's coaching. We work together online, we have team calls, and then we have really, really cool in-person events, which I knew nothing about, like I said, when I started, but there is a yearly, it's called coach summit where all the coaches come together. We do like live workouts with the super trainers and have all kinds of training, and it's awesome. There is something called the Success Club trip, which you earn throughout the year as you are doing those business building activities. As you're growing your business, you earn a free trip. And in March, I'm going to Punta Cana with my entire family, which is paid for by Beachbody, which is just crazy. Now, of course, I have to insert the income disclaimer saying that it does require hard work. You do have to show up consistently. It's not just given to you. It is something that you earn. But there's all kinds of fun trips. And then my coach hosts these diamond retreats. So in March, I am going to Florida on a trip that I earned by being a certain rank called diamond or above. And then I am also going to Vegas in like 2 weeks, because that is from hitting a certain rank as well, paid for by the company. And so there are some really, really awesome travel opportunities. And I have probably traveled more in the past 3.5 years that I've been a coach. I probably traveled more in those 3.5 years than I have in the past 20. Literally. It is just some awesome, awesome opportunities. And so that's something that I love too. And this job is just so rewarding. Like, I don't even look at it as work, which is cool. When I say, you got to be putting in 30 minutes to an hour a day, 5 days a week, I look forward to sitting here at my desk, checking in with my challenge group. Let's talk a little bit about what a coach does, first of all. So what do? We have 4 vital behaviors, they're called. First and foremost is be product of the product, AKA be on your own health and fitness journey. You have to share about what you're doing. So you pick a program from our library, you go all in and you share about it. That's the first thing. And so I love that. And then the second thing is to connect with other people on social media or in person, however you feel most comfortable, or both. Usually it ends up just organically being both. And then inviting them to join you and just sharing what you have to offer. And when you are really passionate about what you're doing and that it's really working for you, you want to shout it from the rooftops. That's how I felt when I started. I went from being this lost mom where I felt like I could not get a grasp on anything for myself to, oh my gosh, I found this solution that works for me. I can walk down to my basement, I can press play during nap time or when my kids are playing in the other room, or super early in the morning when my husband is still at work and I wouldn't be able to leave and go to the gym because there's nobody here to be with my girls. I can do this at any time of the day. And then I have a community to plug into to keep me accountable. Like, this is my solution. And that's how I felt when I started. And so I wanted to tell everybody about it. And that's step 2 of being a coach. And then the third step is recognition. So, really cheering on your challengers. And so what we do is we run these things called challenge groups, accountability groups, boot camps. It's all the same thing. And you just run them right on our own private app. So it can be totally off of social media. And basically what you do is you cheer people on. People that want to join you, you put them all in this group and you all encourage each other and cheer them on. You maybe post some motivation or inspiration once a day to the group to cheer for everybody, to support everybody. You can come up with your own posts that you write, and even your coach office, which is online, has some like challenge group guides in there that you can use. So honestly, everything is created for you. The fitness programs are created for you. Even the challenge groups can be created for you. The nutrition plans are created for you. You are just there to be that support. So if you are somebody that wants to help other people, that wants to be on their own health and fitness journey and also have that accountability, that extra piece of accountability that you get from helping other people do the same thing, you would be an amazing coach. So those are basically the things that we do. The 4th vital behavior, the 4th and final, is called personal development. Something I never did before coaching, but it is just about taking 10 to 20 minutes every single day to do something, listen to a podcast, read a book, something that is going to develop you into who you want to be, which is just the coolest thing. That's the way that I usually start my day, with reading a couple pages of a book. And then I'm always listening to a podcast while I'm cleaning, doing dishes, doing laundry. And that's a part of our job. Once again, so our job is being the healthiest version of ourselves, both physically and mentally, with that personal development. aspects. So this is honestly the coolest job ever. And then the last piece that I'm going to just talk about is how we get paid, because you're probably wondering that too. Like, okay, so you're running these accountability groups. Where does the money come into play? How is it a job? Okay, so there's a couple different ways. Number one, retail commission, super simple. You get 25% on whatever your customers order from you. So that's step one. The other bank of income that you get is called team volume. So as you are getting coaches underneath of you, they are generating volume for your team, and you get paid on that as well. And then the third thing is bonuses. So as you hit certain ranks in the company, you get quarterly bonuses. And so those are the three main ways that you get paid. I will say, this is not, I said this earlier, it's not a get rich quick scheme. And it's not a scheme at all. It's not a pyramid scheme. I think people have said that before, that they were worried it was a pyramid scheme. Absolutely not. This is an exchange of goods and services. People pay you to get access to the fitness programs, to get nutritional supplements, to get meal plans, to be in the group. Like, this is an absolute exchange. So there's no pyramid scheme there. And it is not a get rich quick. It is something that you build over time. And honestly, when you are in it for the reason of like, I want to be the healthiest version of myself and I want to help other people do the same thing, that resonates in all that you do as a coach, and people will be drawn to you for that reason, and your business will grow. I will say, when I first started, I did not have any intentions of growing a big business. None. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a nurse. I've only ever been a nurse. I know nothing about sales, zero. So that was one of my concerns too. Like, oh, do I have to be a salesperson to do this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm the farthest thing from that. You are simply sharing what's working for you. And like I said, when you're passionate about it, people are drawn to passion. People are drawn, and they say, wow, look at her. Like, it looks like she's really loving this. Maybe I'll give it a try. That's it. That's it. And so I did not come into it wanting to build a big business. I didn't think much would come out of it. I truly thought, when I eventually said, okay, I'll give this a try, I thought, okay, I'll see if anybody wants to, I'm going to do 21 Day Fix. That was the first group that I ran. And I was like, I'll see if anybody's interested in doing it with me. I had a couple people, maybe a handful. My group was very small. Groups are always very small when you first start, and that's fine. And that's great. It really gets people to get to know each other. And I kind of I was loving it. I was loving being part of that group. I was loving taking accountability. Like, this is my group and these people are here because I, invited them, and we're all in this together. And then over time, as I continued to show up consistently, because I would say one of the most important things about being a coach that will determine your success or lack thereof is consistency. Continuing to show up day after day because you want to be here. And as I continued to show up day after day, month after month, year after year, my team has grown to something beyond what I truly ever thought that I would accomplish. And I've been given even more travel opportunities and bonuses and things like that I never thought that I would get. But it all started with being a tired, defeated, burnt out mom who found a solution that worked for her and just wanted to share it with some others. And so if you are feeling like, okay, maybe I could give this a try, one of the biggest things I'm going to say is start before you're ready. You're never going to feel like, yep, I'm ready. Now's the perfect time. There's always going to be those like, I don't know if I'd be good at this. I don't know if I have time for this. There's always fears and hesitations, and those are not going to be tackled until you just get started. So start before you're ready. I will be there with you every step of the way. I will cheer you on. I will mentor you. We have a group where we have team calls. We have a group chat. We are always there to support each other, to answer questions. Like, you're never in it alone, and you're never left to just figure it out. So it would never be like, okay, I'm going to be a coach. I think I'm going to give this a try. Okay, good luck. No, I will give you a step-by-step. This is what you do. This is what you do next. This is what you do next. So I'm with you every step of the way. So if you want to give it a try, if you're ready for something new for 2022, then definitely let me know and we can chat more about it. We can get on a one-on-one Zoom call. I can send you some written information if you want, but the biggest thing is to just get started, to just start where you're at and start before you're ready. So thank you so much for hopping on here. If you have any questions at all, please reach out and I will hopefully see you soon.